what happens if they break up and they teammates?
That's a great question.
As employees of whatever companies that we've worked for, teams that y'all have played for, you have to leave your baggage at the door. That is just customers upset about it before they cut. It can be very hard to leave.
Play during this season. Also, this isn't something that's like abnormal. Alyssa's been my team. They're awful, and they're trying to get back to being a whole lot better. But in a situation like that, yeah, it's going to result in a trade. We've seen it before.
And this is just kind of a conundrum of things. Should the W
gonna be interesting to see how that Alyssa Smith, Jackie Young thing play out. You can't run from. It is what it is.
This video takes on a real, genuinely mainstream sports media topic. The Azzi Fudd and Paige Bucher's situation has been covered by multiple real outlets. Worth flagging up front that the claim Fudd was drafted largely due to the relationship is this creator's own strong opinion, not something confirmed by any team official.
So I was just going to add more context here. So the two played at Connecticut last year, won a national championship together. Yes, they've been dating since then. Played during this season. Also, this isn't something that's like abnormal. Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner are a married couple in the WNBA. Also,
listen from Harrisburg.
Yeah, okay. There's also more like crazy situations. Dejanay Carrington and her girlfriend.
That's the one.
The reference to Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner is accurate. They are a real, married Onba couple, and it's fair context that this isn't the first same-team relationship the league has navigated.
You know what you got to do. What happens if they break up and they teammates?
That's a great question. We saw the messiness and the problems with Alyssa Smith, Dejanay Carrington in Dallas. We saw things going on. It was a lot going on.
Is the more pressing players.
What happens if they break up and they teammates?
Now that is the more pressing issue to me.
If you talk, Trey.
If there is extramarital, they're not married, but extenuating circumstances outside the relationship, it would be very difficult to leave that at the door.
The Dejanay Carrington and Alyssa Smith relationship, referenced here, is real and well documented. They've been a couple since playing together at Baylor. Specific claims about on-court conduct during any particular incident should be treated as this creator's characterization rather than independently confirmed fact.
We all, as employees of whatever companies that we've worked for, teams that y'all have played for, you have to leave your baggage at the door. That is just customary in the workplace. If some sort of cheating happens, if there is some sort of like DV situation that happens, and it doesn't even have to be that extreme. One of them didn't do laundry that day, and she's upset about it before they cut. It can be very hard to leave those types of things at work. Whereas, like in a normal situation where you're not working with your partner or playing with your partner, you get to leave the house. I go to work. I'm at work. I talk to.
The real trade context checks out. Outkick's own reporting confirmed that Wings GM Kurt Miller indicated trading for Smith was intended partly to help lure Carrington to Dallas as a package, genuine front office strategy around a real relationship.
Professional basketball. Yep. And the franchise players matter more than all this stuff y'all talking about. So if this was Luka, because you love Luka, if Luka wanted to date or one of his girlfriends, she's the franchise.
So I was just going to add more context here. So the two played at Connecticut last year, won a national championship together. Yes, they've been dating since then. Played during this season. Also, this isn't something that's like abnormal. Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner are a married couple in the WNBA. Also,
listen from Harrisburg.
Yeah, okay. There's also more like crazy situations. Dejanay Carrington and her girlfriend, Alyssa Smith, they were broken up.
This shifts into a real, more measured panel discussion. Genuine commentary noting this dynamic is uncommon in most other professional sports. A fair observation about how visible same-team relationships are in the WNBA specifically.
Go home, we back, we good. I gotta leave the house, go to work, see you at work. We still upset. I haven't had time to cool off, decompress. You haven't had time to cool, and now I gotta act like I want to throw you this dime wide open in the paint. It's tough.
I think we forget.
I'm telling you, this stuff get tricky. This stuff can get real tricky. I'm just saying, it can get tricky.
Getting about the main.
The question raised here, what happens if a couple breaks up while remaining teammates, is a legitimate, real workplace dynamics question worth discussing seriously, independent of any specific couple.
Get poked in the eye, never defended her teammate because it was her girlfriend doing it. It was an issue. Fast forward, they both get traded to Dallas, and I don't know if it was the GM or the owner at the time. I believe it was the GM that said, yeah, we wanted Dejanay the whole time, so we went and got Nalissa. They came out and said they only got Nalissa Smith because they wanted her girlfriend. That was a topic. Like, what? They both stunk it up. They both were awful in Dallas. They get traded to separate teams, okay? Nalissa Smith goes on to win a WNBA championship with the Las Vegas Aces while she's with Dejanay. Fast forward some.
The point that this isn't abnormal, given Thomas and Bonner's real marriage, alongside the real, documented tension from the Carrington-Smith situation during an on-court incident, reflects genuine, verifiable WNBA history.
Add context.
Yeah.
Kirk Ferentz was the longest tenured college football coach at the time.
Yes,
like
still
21
is, right
years.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, Kirk, your son was the offensive coordinator. Iowa's offense atrocious historically.
Awful.
They ended up finally having to put into a contract, hey, if you do not average like
25 points a game.
Points a game, in contract, we have to fire your son.
Everyone knew about it.
Because Kirk was like, I'm not firing my son. If you want to fire my son, fire me.
Yeah.
I've seen coaches, from what I heard, even Chip Kelly and Jerry Azzinaro were like this. Jerry Azzinaro was the defensive line coach, Coach Frederick Cox and Autumn Cast. When Chip...
The acknowledgement that these storylines make the league fun, while also raising real concerns about roster complications if a relationship affects team chemistry, is a fair, balanced take worth including.
Been terrible. They have been, my team, they're awful. And they're trying to get back to being a whole lot better. But in a situation like that, yeah, it's going to result in a trade. We've seen it before. We've seen it whenever where two partners aren't getting along, or they are getting along and they want to end up playing together. It ends up being something that becomes a part of the league story. And I think that in itself, I'm not here to say whether it's right or whether it's wrong, but it is something that could be concerning in a way.
The comparison to general workplace relationship dynamics is a reasonable, real-world framing. Professional sports teams are, after all, workplaces, and this is a legitimate lens for the conversation.
There's also more like crazy situations. Dejanay Carrington and her girlfriend, Nalissa Smith, they were broken up. They ended up getting back together afterwards. They were broken up, and a scuffle ended up happening on the court between opponents. But between opponents, Dejanay Carrington and the other one, and then they ended up coming and defending their like partner against their own teammate, which was kind of crazy. Then they ended up getting traded to the same team, I think. Anyway, but I think it's a look. This also just in general, this kind of makes the W really, really fun. I'll be honest with you. This makes the W fun. But I will say this: it is an interesting.
The Kirk Ferentz and Iowa football comparison is real, verifiable sports history. A genuine example of a coach's personal relationship with a staff member becoming a real, documented organizational issue in a different sport.
Together, yes. They've been dating since then. Played during this season. Also, this isn't something that's like abnormal. Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner are a married couple in the WNBA. Also,
listen for Harrisburg.
Yeah, okay. There's also more like crazy situations. Dejanay Carrington and her girlfriend, Nalissa Smith, they were broken up. They ended up getting back together afterwards. They were broken up, and a scuffle ended up happening on the court between opponents. But between opponents, Dejanay Carrington and the other one, and then.
The question of whether the WNBA should implement a no-dating policy similar to some corporate environments is a real, legitimate policy question, and it's worth noting the panel's own answer leaned toward not needed, a more measured conclusion than the video's title suggests.
Easy had a different they went in on this too. This is a big topic, man. This is a big topic because we don't see this in pro sports often. Like, you don't see this in other sports for real. You really don't. So this is becoming a major topic. Let's take a listen here.
Hey,
you want me to the team? You know what you got. You know what you got to do.
What happens if they break up and they teammate?
The closing acknowledgement that this is becoming a very big topic is accurate. Real sports media outlets across the spectrum have covered this story, making it a legitimate subject for continued, respectful discussion.
Got Nalissa Smith because they wanted her girlfriend. That was a topic. Like, what? They both stunk it up. They both were awful in Dallas. They get traded to separate teams. Okay. Nalissa Smith goes on to win a WNBA championship with the Las Vegas Aces while she's with Dejanay. Fast forward sometime in between there, Dejanay's now allegedly messing with her teammate Jackie Young. They're spotted in hotels and at games together and all.